Welcome back to the Green Means Go channel. It's your host, me. I'm getting a haircut Thursday. I just showered. I realized I look like a mad scientist. I'm sorry. Yes, I did what I needed to do this morning. I waited in line about 20 minutes. It wasn't too bad, but we're here. And I picked two comments that I believe kind of encompass or symbolize today. The first one's from Donovan Corbin. He says, "Do you even watch football?" Implying that last week's video was so bad, my rankings were so bad that I may as well have done it randomly, all right? But then you have Hunter's Generation who says, "Good video," smiley face. And it just goes to show that no matter what, this is an opinion piece. It is based on objective fact, but there is a little bit of personal zing that is added into it. And some people, like Donovan, aren't going to care for it, and some people, like Hunter, are going to agree with it. So without further ado, let's do it. All right? We'll start with the Seahawks. NFC West. No surprise they lost. They actually played it closer than I thought. But when the Rams come to town, Seattle is always doomed. They are getting healthier. DK Metcalf should be back. Their defense is shaping up. They're still working out kinks on this offense and with the new system. And I'll put them in just because the wild card is feasible, but they're going to have to go on a run. And I mean a crazy, historic run to end the season. But I haven't lost hope yet. I think they should win more than 2 games the rest of the year. The Cardinals are good. They get the job done, and it's not pretty, but they get the job done. The next 3 teams in this division all have a legitimate shot to win the division. So I'm going to put the Cardinals and I'm going to put the Rams both in Week 18 Warriors because I think they have a legitimate shot at the title of the NFC West or the wild card. But my favorite right now in the NFC West is the 49ers. And I know people disagree with me, and I know people on paper and on record, it doesn't look like it, but I just think this is the best team, top to bottom, win healthy. They're getting Christian McCaffrey back, hopefully in the next week or 2. I think that's going to change some things, and I think they will come from behind and win this division. So this would be my NFC West ranking. NFC South. I still hold out hope for the Buccaneers, but the margin is widening. And for that reason, I do think we have to put the Falcons in Week 18 Warriors. You know what? Because we don't have to do anything we don't want to do. I'm going to hold on for one more week. I realize the Buccaneers are behind, and they do have 2 losses straight up against the Falcons. So it is very unlikely that the Buccaneers come back and win this division. But I don't think it's impossible. And frickin' fine. I'll put the Falcons in comfy playoffs. I don't want to do it. But I'll do it. We'll put the Falcons in comfy playoffs. And let's be realistic. The Buccaneers are probably in the category, and it's tough. When you go to overtime against an undefeated team on the road, down your 2 biggest offensive playmakers, and you come so close to winning and you lose, I want to give this team credit. I do. I want to move them up to Week 18 Warriors, but their record is making it very hard to do that. So we will put them in the category. But understand, I am optimistic about this team, and I am pessimistic about this team. But these 2 teams that also call themselves NFC South participants is really what they are. They're just participating. They're not doing much. We're going to put them in both wins the draft. They played each other this week, and the Panthers got a win. The Panthers beat the Saints, which is crazy. The Saints started 2-0. I'll say that every week. It's wild. Now for the real division. I mean, the cream of the crop, just the division that has been excelling. That is the NFC North. And we'll start with the Vikings, who got a win over the Colts on Sunday night in prime time. Not too terribly convincing, but good enough. And I will put this team in comfy playoffs just because I think the wild card is certainly within reach, grabbable, and I think they have the best bet to do it. Packers lose to the Lions, but I'm not holding it against them. I'm not holding it against them at all. And I'll put them in Week 18 Warriors. They are going to have to beat the Vikings the next time they play for their playoff hopes. I firmly believe that. Vikings already beat them once, and they beat them, I believe, in Green Bay. So now they're going to host the Packers, which will be even tougher for the Packers. But Packers still have a good team. I still think it's a solid group of competitors. Jordan Love's health is a little bit of a question mark, but I wish they would use Josh Jacobs more. They went out and signed him. They're paying him, I believe, a pretty penny. So why not get some use out of that penny paid? I don't know. But the Lions will be in Super Bowl conversation, as they were, I believe, in my preseason rankings, guys. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, yeah? Go watch the video from 9 weeks ago. I had them there, and I will have them there now. Best team in football. Most consistent team in football, in my opinion. So take that as you will. But I think the Bears are done. I've said that. I think their stretch of wins was due to easy competition. And when they're going to have to go through this gauntlet that is their division, I think they're going to fall off. And so I'm going to put them at 6-11, only because I think they're inferior to these two teams. Do I think they'll win more than 6 games? Probably, but I don't think they'll win more than 8. So 6 and 7 I think is appropriate ceiling right now. Maybe not ceiling, maybe mid-level, maybe not floor either, kind of like what's between the ceiling and the floor. Like if a team has a ceiling and a team has a floor, what's in the, I don't know. Somebody tell me. That's weird. NFC East, the Cowboys, my biggest disappointment this year. Dak is now hurt. CeeDee Lamb is now hurt. There was a video that was caught of Dak Prescott looking at, I don't know who it was, beside him saying, "We suck." Like during the game, he looked at him and said, "We suck." Not exactly what he said. He had some other filler words in there, but real tough for the Cowboys this year. And for that reason, we'll put them at 6-11. Not looking good. The Eagles, I know I had some people that found it problematic last week that I had the Eagles above the Commanders. I just think that on a neutral field head-to-head, the Eagles would win the game. And they haven't played yet, but I believe they will play soon, if not this week, next week. And that's going to be a fantastic game, a fantastic matchup. And I think the Eagles will win. I think the Eagles will go on to win this division. So I will put the Eagles in comfy playoffs, and my system is slowing down. I'm going to pause this. I don't want to pause it. I don't even know if I think we're recording fine. I don't know why today it's been so bogged down, but we'll hope that everything is clipping correctly. Washington, the Commanders. Again, on paper, record-wise, all those things, Washington looks good. But I fear when they have to play a contender, a true contender. So I'm going to put them in Week 18 Warriors, and I'm going to say they're the best team in this category right now. And I believe that they will make the wild card at worst. But I am sticking to my guns that the Eagles win the division. Washington can be a fantastic second placed in the division wild card team. New York, though, no. No. All right, so here is the total review of this NFC. Now, here's where it gets weird, right? Because I think the Lions are the best team, and I think the Eagles are probably about here, okay? But I also think Washington is above a lot of these teams. But since we're talking about divisions and how divisions actually relate to playoffs, it's going to look weird. So I'm going to put Washington here. But understand that I believe Washington to be better than the Falcons, better than the Vikings, or at least on par with the Vikings. So this is a little bit skewed based on how we have to group them because of how the NFL is designed. All right, so just keep that in mind. I think the Rams right now would be better than the Cardinals, although head-to-head we know that was not the case. And I think the Packers would be above both of these teams. So I'm fine with this. Again, keeping in mind that the Commanders are above here. Seattle and Tampa I think is fine. Bears and Cowboys I think is fine. And then if we're ranking these teams, sure, I'll do something like this. Okay? If my computer will cooperate. I don't know what to do. I'm my back's against a wall. I don't know if I should stop the video and then restart one and hope for the best, or we just keep plugging along and have a risk that I'm like robotics low when it plays through. We'll see. We're going to just keep rolling. Moving on to the AFC. We have the Ravens, who, like I said last week, beats good teams, loses to bad teams, but they dominated Denver in a way that is a little bit shocking considering how Denver has exceeded expectations this year. So I do think this is a comfy playoffs team and a good team at that. So we'll go ahead and put them here. Actually, I'm going to start putting them in order just to kind of save us some time on the back end. I do think they are the best team in this group. Okay, Bengals. You beat the Raiders. What do you want, a trophy? I don't know. Yeah, Joe Burrow looked good. Yeah, it was a good team effort, but at the end of the day, you beat the Raiders, right? So we'll put the Bengals in Week 18 Warriors because they're not going to win the division, but I think they have a shot at the wild card still, although it's an uphill battle. But the AFC is easy, significantly easier than the NFC this year. Steelers, I think, also will make the playoffs. They just came, they had a bye last week, so they didn't win or lose, but it's a team that will be fighting for the title of division champs with the Ravens, and I think the loser of that head-to-head battle will get into a wild card spot. Browns, though, not good. Bills, a little bit of a scare, but in a divisional matchup, you can expect a scare. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to stick to it. I think this is our Super Bowl matchup. If I had to place now, we can make some concessions and conversations about the fact that every single game the Chiefs have played in, there has been a call or calls that lead to their winning. Last night, right? I saw a video. I didn't watch. I fell asleep. I genuinely fell asleep at 9 o'clock. I haven't done that in years. Hopkins scored his first touchdown. I fell asleep on the couch. My head between the cushions, the back cushions. I just propped my head up like this, and I fell asleep sitting up in the couch. And I see the game goes to overtime, and then I see the clips of the false start in the red zone, and then they eventually would score a touchdown the next play. So yeah, if we get another Bills-Chiefs matchup, I mean, the Chiefs might win just because of certain irregularities, but I think the Bills are a better team right now. So we'll put the Bills up there. Patriots, no thank you. Lose to the Titans, that's a pretty bad blow. Jets, they did beat Houston, which was impressive. That was on Thursday night. So I will put them in, I'll give them one more shot this year. They have it all on paper, but see if they can tie it together. Dolphins, you know what? I'll put them at 6-11. I think it'll be tough to get to 6 games, but I think they're kind of like the Bears. They'll get to 6 or 7 wins, and that'll be it. AFC South, we have Houston, the Texans, who did suffer a bad loss to the Jets, but this division is so watered down, so bad that this team is a comfy playoff team. Now, it's not better. I don't believe it's better than Washington or Green Bay, some of these teams, but because of the alignment and how that works, they are going to be above them on this list. Titans, have fun with your draft pick. Jaguars, have fun with your maybe 6 wins, but maybe not. Let's talk about the Colts because this is interesting. Like I said, the AFC was so weak that the Colts do have a shot at the wild card. They're going to start Joe Flacco for the rest of the year. They came out and they said that. Do I think that's the right call? Do I think that's the wrong call? I'm not a Colts fan. I don't have an opinion. I think if you want to win now, it's the right call. If you care about the future of your franchise and you don't want to win now, make it to the playoffs and lose like they've done year after year, then maybe you give Anthony Richardson a go. We'll put him in though, because I think they could make a climb, but they're going to have to start winning some games. And that loss of the Vikings is not the step in the right direction. Broncos, not a team I'm impressed with. Again, it's very much giving Bears where they beat bad teams, and when they play good teams like the Ravens, they don't stand a chance. They didn't even come close. So I'm going to put them in because, again, I think they're sneaky. They might be able to do it just because of how easy their schedule has been, but for now, we'll put them in. Chiefs, absolutely. Comfy playoffs, no doubt. They'll win the West. They'll make it far in the playoffs like we see every year, but I'm not going to put them in Super Bowl conversation, even though they may deserve it. Hear me, right? Like, that's like a big beef that you guys have. How are the Chiefs not in Super Bowl conversation? They can be. But the way I structure this is I want my Super Bowl conversation to be one NFC, one AFC, the top 2 teams from each conference that I believe are the best. And my thing is lagging so bad right now. I hope all the audio, this is so stressful. I'm 14 minutes in. I'm not just going to stop. If you could see it right now, Raiders wins the draft. I'm going to cut this off because I'm terrified. Chargers. Look how slow it's moving. Oh my gosh, guys. Do I need a new PC? I didn't buy a PC with the expectation of being a YouTuber, I mean, big time YouTuber guy right here. So we'll see. We'll put the Chargers in too. Because of the state of this recording, because of how glitchy this looks right now, I'm going to stop it. This is not a true and honest ranking. Oh gosh, I'm terrified. I'm going to stop it and I'm just going to stop it. I'm so scared. okay, nobody move. I think the video saved fine. It's still being super glitchy, like I'm like that. That's what it looks like to me. But when I went back and watched it, it looked fine. So I'm going to tune that out. I'm going to close this eye so I have no peripheral vision, and I'm going to talk about this, okay? Super Bowl conversation. I like Lions and Bills. Comfy playoffs. I think the Chiefs are the best team in this row. Then I like the Ravens, even though they have some bad losses, I think they can get up and perform against good teams. Steelers, with Russell Wilson, I think are to be reckoned with. The Niners have not proven it so far, but I think with a sights on the future, this is the team you want to watch out for. Then we have the Eagles, the Vikings, the Texans, and the Falcons. For the Week 18 Warriors, the best team is the Commanders, followed by the Packers, then the Rams, then the Cardinals, then the Bengals. The Bengals could move up, I think, shift maybe all the way up to Green Bay. It's close, but I left it there just for the sake of saking things. The category, Seattle, Tampa, New York, Chargers, Colts, and Broncos. This was probably the hardest one to align, but I think that's fair. All of these teams have potential, but they just aren't getting it done. 6 and 11, we got Bears, Dolphins, Cowboys, and Jaguars, and then wins the draft. You see the rest. So sorry, guys. I checked my storage. I checked everything. I don't know what's happening. So it's not your problem. Who gives a flying heck? So here we go. That's our rankings for Week 10. Make sure you comment how you feel deep down about this and be honest with me, because that's what we need. We need some honesty. Take care. I don't think I have anything else noteworthy to say, so I'm going to hit stop.